video, we'll show you how to export mesh data that's generated by the geometry mesher within ZONA-MV. So there's another video that you can watch to see how to generate the meshes, and these meshes are typically generated for the ZONA-MV software, where we need watertight models that are composed of C-Quad4 quadrilateral elements and C-Tria3 triangular elements. So for this case, we've just created a simple upper and lower surface mesh of the portion of the left-hand wing on this A10 model here. So first thing that we did is we generated two slices on the wing where we're going to create the points from which we can generate curves and in turn regions that are meshed. So we went ahead and generated these two slices shown here by the light blue line and the dark blue line. And then the next step that we did is we went over to the geometry mesher and we generated points along these two lines. We generated the curves for the upper surface and likewise these purple curves here for the lower surface. And then we generated the regions which we meshed as 10 by 10s, and that's shown here by these pink lines. If we want to get a better view of the mesh, we can go over to the Controls tab, turn off the elements and the shading. We can go back to the Geometry tab, turn off the geometry points, and then we just see the we can also turn off the curves, and then we just see the resulting 10 by 10 upper and lower surface mesh that we generated. So to export this data is very easy. We go up to the Home tab, Export menu option, and in a previous video we showed how to export zone data. Now we're going to select this one to export the geometry mesh data. And the tolerance, the default tolerance is shown here, and the purpose of this is we want to merge the grids when we create, for example in this case, an upper surface mesh and a lower surface mesh. For example, these points on the leading edge are duplicated even though they're in the same place. One set of points belongs to the upper surface, the other set of points belongs to the lower surface. So we want to fuse those together automatically, and this is a tolerance that you can set and adjust as needed in order to merge those nodes and create a watertight model. So that's it. Then we can just simply export the data. The data is always output in Nastran type of bulk data format, which is what's needed by the ZONA-MV software. So here we can export and give it a name, for example, small mesh, and save that. And then down here in the message output, it tells us that it successfully exported the geometry bulk data to this file. The number of duplicated grids that were removed, 569, the final number of grids output 231, and the final number of C-Quad4s that are output was 200 for this case. So then if we want to see what was output, we can create a new document, go to the import option, and this time use the Zona Nastran data loader to load the bulk data that was generated. So we can go select an input deck. We called it small mesh, which should be right here, and click OK, and then we can see the Nastran bulk data that was output from the geometry mesh. So in this fashion, when you generate a geometry mesh, you can output the data using the export menu feature.